your relationship with work is a disaster and it's not necessarily your fault. I've been seeing all these videos on YouTube, man, about people, I'd rather die than work a 9 to 5. Oh, the 9 to 5 is just the worst thing ever. Oh, it's just so terrible. It's just, and man, they just been screaming into an echo chamber, man, and all the other people are coming to saying the same thing. And the crazy thing is that I agree in a lot of cases that the 9 to 5 may not want to be where you spend your whole life. Like, I'm a prime example of it. I did the 9 to 5 for a long time, but I always had in my mind that I wanted to do my own thing. I've been self-employed almost 7 years and I love it. Like, I ain't punched the clock in a while. But I think the perspective of the 9 to 5, the nuance is missing, totally missing from this conversation that people are having, right? I get it. Everybody's basing everything off their feelings. But I have a question for you. First question. When did anybody promise you happiness at a 9 to 5? I'm just trying to figure that out. I'm almost like, there's an old Jay-Z line from that song. He said, people don't forget what they came for. Like, my thing is, did you get the job because it promised you some sort of happiness? Or was there a means to an end? Did you get the job where, the mind frame was, yeah, I'm going to go help make this guy rich, or whoever the owner is, I'm going to help make them rich? Is that what you got it for? I'm cool with, and you had the epiphany, but finally hit you that, man, I could do stuff for myself instead of working for somebody else. That's great. But when you got the job, was that your mindset? Or did you have a plan? Did you get the job with the plan? Was you were gonna, man, I'm gonna start as a janitor and I'm gonna work my way straight to the top? You know what I mean? Did you do the Louis Anderson Coming to America?
Hi. I started on cleanup just like you guys. But now, see, I'm washing lettuce. Soon I'll be on fries, then the grill. A year or two, I make assistant manager. And that's where the big bucks start rolling in.
Maybe you did. Maybe that's what you thought. You'd be making the big bucks, right? That's what your whole plan was. And you got disappointed. But who told you that? Who told you that was going to happen? Look, your relationship with work is a disaster, firstly, because you're trying to find happiness at a job. There's a certain section of society that can go work somewhere for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and they love it. And to those people, I salute them. I salute them, and because they found what they might have found their purpose, right? Their life's purpose. They found it. Other people go to the same place and work for 30 years because it doesn't really matter to them. They're going for the job, they work, but it's what they get out of it. Your job is not there to make you happy. If you find happiness at work, wonderful. There's a lot of people who find their spouses and other people like that they share times with and everything. I've had a lot of jobs. I can think back over the years of times that were jobs where I had a good time. There might have been a Christmas party that was like great Christmas party or a ball or something like that. I worked at places where we just had a good time sometimes. I just ran into the time when we just had a good group of people. And it was great, man. We hung out outside or everything. That's great. But I've had other jobs where I had a supervisor refer to me as an island. See, he said I was an island because, I kind of stayed off to myself. And I did when it came to their certain group. But I didn't come to the job for them. Their feelings, it didn't matter to me. Like, who cares about what they felt? I was there for me. It's the other part. You done forgot what you came for. Did you come there for happiness, or did you come there to get a paycheck to provide for your family? I thought that's what you were there for. I thought that's what we came for. So maybe some of y'all, I get it. There's a very, very infinitesimal amount of y'all out here that went to a job with the understanding that you were going to be happy and you're going to move up the corporate ladder and just all going to be just beautiful and just lovely and just, it didn't happen. You developed that in your head, that was going to be the case, but this finding happiness at your job is not your job's job to give you happiness. It ain't my job to provide you happiness. It ain't nobody's job. It's you. You got to find where happiness is for you. So if you didn't find it at your job, is it your job's fault? Right? If you're planning on doing something else and you don't, that 9 to 5 thing is just, you were like me, where you were just biding your time. You knew that there's things that you wanted to do, but I had kids, there's a lot of things I was doing. I mean, I still have kids, right? But there's a lot of things that I was doing that didn't allow me to just jump out the window and leave the job, just quit out of the blue with no plan. Like, I just keep hearing a lot of people saying that, quit with no plan. It's like, what are we talking about? Yo, some of these conversations about the 9 to 5, man, I mean, I've watched videos that almost made me punch my screen. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. I'm being for real. Like, it's crazy. There's people, I mean, grown men. I'm seeing grown men out here talking about, man, they had to go to work and their tummy would hurt. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, they said stomach, but all I heard was tummy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the impression it gave to me when these grown men talking about going to work, like, and they about to cry, and it's like, what are you talking about? So if the only reason that you can quit your 9 to 5 is because somebody that's working a 9 to 5 is taking care of your broke behind, hush, just stay out of this conversation, because this is for grown folk. This ain't for y'all. Some of y'all are scared to make a move. And you ask me how I know, because I work with y'all. I work with a whole lot of y'all. I work with a lot of y'all and there's a lot of people talking. Eric Thomas put it in a good perspective one time. He's like, sometimes people just love, that's their version of doing something, is talking about it. They just love having the conversation about what they want to do, even though they're never going to do it. You come back 5 years, 10 years, and they never made a move. People just love the conversation. Right? So I get it. I just need the perspective, though, to be out there, is that you didn't get the job to find happiness. No job can promise you happiness. Okay? It's just how it goes. But another thing is something, dude, Bob Proctor, I love Bob Proctor, man. He rest in peace. I've said it before. He had the quote that was one of the best quotes I ever heard, where he was just like, it was just simple. It was simple. He was like, work was made for us. We weren't made for work. And that's so true. It's just, even though it's so simple, it's so profound if you really think about it. It's just, there are all types of work out here, depending on who you are. Like you specifically. There's certain types of work that's gonna stimulate you. So for me, I love to repair stuff and build stuff and all that. And I get not only the satisfaction of doing it, but man, when you're finished, you have something that there was nothing. Now you something. Or you have somebody who was distraught because, man, they had this leak and all these issues, and then here you came and fixed it. Or they spent a lot of money. They've been saving up all this money to get a project done, and here you come and you exceed what they were looking for. Right? Exceeded their expectations. So that work was made for me. You understand what I'm saying? That work was made for me. There's some work out there that's made for you. I don't know. I mean, the talk that I hear about people just not wanting to work, and when I hear grown men that say, "Oh, who wants to work? Why does anybody want to work? I mean, who wants to work?" It's like, what? What are you talking about? Work is for us. It's just about what kind of work do you do, and is it the kind of work that's fulfilling to you? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Right? You have this mentality that, oh man, if I could just be a YouTuber, if I could just play video games all day. And that sounds good until it's a full-time job. Then let's see how much you love video games, right? Everybody wants to be the next Kai Cenat or AMP or something like that. There's a possibility you could do that. But you're crazy if you think that Kai wakes up every day wanting to do a chat for 7-8 hours. Like that, except he's accustomed to it. He makes himself do it because the job has to get done. And if he wants the things that he wants, he knows that he got to do it. His popularity is not going to last forever, right? So you got to strike while the iron is hot. He's doing what he has to do. But to think that that's just, you're going to love everything you do all the time, it's crazy talk. I got jobs all the time. I love doing what I do. But man, sometimes I know certain tasks are going to be like, you see what I'm saying? I don't love every aspect of everything I do every single day. But as a whole, I love it. I just love what I do, right? You have to find that thing, that kind of work that you love, something that benefits your life. Don't take the idea that work is a bad thing. Like, we done turned work into just a negative word because of what the corporations have done to it. You don't have to do that, right? You can get in your own mind frame. Ain't nothing wrong with work. Not here over on this channel, in this part of the world. Like I said, I used to call myself the prime minister of the proletariat, leader of the working class. I'm all about that work. But what kind of work are you doing? And how much fulfillment are you getting out of it? That'll change it. If you get fulfillment out of your work, will change your whole mentality about it. There's one huge thing I think we all need to remember, and that is you are not your job. Okay? You're not your job. I'm a janitor, I'm a cashier, these things don't mean that's not who I am. It's what I do, but it's not who I am. So just keep in mind that, so many people define themselves by their job, which is another reason why you can't stand it. You can't stand the idea that this is what you do, this is who you are, but it's not who you are. That's what I said. It's a lot of people that worked a lot of years doing something that they didn't want to do because they felt like they had to, right? Well, you got options. A lot of people do a whole lot of talking. Are you going to be one of the people who decide to make a move, who decide that I'm not going to quit my job right this second, but I'm going to develop a plan and a strategy, and that when I'm ready. Now, that doesn't mean everything has to be totally lined up perfectly. You got to have everything 100% ready. But at some point, I'm going to get out here and I'm going to get going and doing the thing that I was born to do, the thing that I was meant to do. It's going to be work sometimes, even if you love it. But it's the work that was made for you. And that's the whole thing when it comes down to it. I did a video a while back talking about why you need a skill now. And that's probably 2 years ago, and it's just gotten worse. So you still need a skill, but you need it more now than ever. So check that video out, all right? If you're new here, what I do is I talk about work from a self-employed person's perspective. I run a handyman/small contracting business, and I've been doing it for years. But before that, prior to that, I spent a lot of years in the workforce, in the 9-to-5 workforce, the time clock punch-in workforce. So I understand where you're coming from, right? I understand exactly where you're coming from. This is a place where we talk about work. We respect the work that we do. We talk about self-employment and business, and a lot of times what I do is a handyman/contractor, that's self-employed. And sometimes we just talk about mindset, right? And this is one of those times. So I'm glad you're here, and if you want more of this content, welcome home. All right? Daryl, also known as the Finisher. Stay safe, be blessed, and remember, if the trades don't work, nothing else does.